Hello guys, this is Maverick Shooters. Today we're going to watch my ADPL finals game for the team I'm managing myself. The Ironclad Infernapes versus Dunoks, who is from Team Tomb Raiders. The series score going into this match was 4-4, and my team needs to win 3 out of the last 4 games to win the tournament and claim the custom avatar prize. So let's get into the match. Okay, so for the preview, I load my WCOP R1 team with some changes. My Ogapon is running SD instead of Trailblaze. My Valiant instead of Destiny Bond is running Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Moonblast, Encore. And I changed my Gambit Terra from Ghost to Fire. On the opposing side, my opponent decides to load a semi-TR team with Breaker, Ursaluna, and for speed control they have Dragapult. So let's get into the lead. Okay, so I think my opponent was expecting a Glimmora lead, and for that they would lead Landorus. If they want to mid-ground the lead versus Glimmora and Deoxys, they can lead their Gloking. But I'm mostly expecting one of these two, and hence I decided to load Deoxys. Deoxys can be a Life Orb knockoff set, which will damage Gloking heavily, and Landorus can't stay in on a Deoxys because it fears Ice Beam. So I decided to lead Deoxys. My opponent leads Landorus. Now, as I said, the opponent has to fear Ice Beam. They wouldn't want to sack something for free turn 1. So hence, I decided to Nasty Plot. I'm not Ice Beam. I'm running Psycho Boost, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, Nasty Plot. But my opponent doesn't know that. And I know that they're going to go to Gloking. So I have a free Nasty Plot there. I catch him on that. Then I go for Dark Pulse. It can flinch. And it does good damage. My opponent tricks me a Lagging Tail, which is very interesting. So now my Deoxys is extremely slow because of Lagging Tail. All my moves will be last. So everything on his team will outspeed, and since Deoxys is pretty frail, it will die. But my Deoxys is currently at +2, and this Gloking will die to Dark Pulse if I click it. I look at rest of his mons. He fears Psycho Boost heavily. Alola Muller dies, Landorus dies, Ursaluna dies, Dragapult dies, Gloking dies. Gloking also dies to Dark Pulse. And for what I think, he's expecting Dark Pulse or Psycho Boost. There's no other play. I'm obviously not going to click Focus Blast versus a 4x resist, and that will waste my Deoxys for no reason. If he decides to click Chilly Reception, I'll still be slower because of Lagging Tail. So whoever he decides to go into, even after a Chilly, I'll hit the Mon after that. So he decides to go into Kingambit because obviously no one's going to click Focus Blast, right? And I decide to click Focus Blast, but it misses to the left. And I went from hyping myself up to insanity because I saw that Kingambit switch to being extremely pissed, because if this Kingambit died, I auto-won on the spot. Everything else on my team completely nukes the rest of his team. Outside Kingambit was the only threat to my team. I focus blasted, caught him on this insane double, and it missed to the left. So after that, I've become extremely pissed, but what can I do? It's Pokemon, it's Focus Blast. Shit happens. So yeah, that's that. I could have auto-won there, but Focus Blast missed. Now I know he's going to kowtow. Ironhead isn't really free. I have a Kogapon which resists it. I have a Kingambit which resists it. And my Deoxys lives a Ironhead, and I can still Focus Blast and stay in. He has no reason to risk it. Kowtow is extremely free. So hence I decided to go into my red card Glimmora. It gets a T-Spike up, it lives a Kowtow, and red cards him into some other Pokemon. He goes into Alola. It gives me free rocks as he goes into Landorus. Now I don't want to sack my Glimmora for no reason. He's either going to click rocks or he's going to click Earthquake. So I'm mid-ground into Ogapon. There's literally no reason for him to click U-turn, because I'd obviously leave the U-turn and I can just stay in with Glimmora to sack it. He doesn't really know that, so he's gonna click rocks or Earthquake, and Ogapon is a pretty great mid-ground into that. He decides to click rocks. I have a free Cudgel coming in now. He goes to Dragapult. I get the Cudgel off, I do 41%. Now I see that I don't really have any switch into Wisp X Dragapult, because if I go into Kingambit, it will get Wisp. My Kyurem is mixed and it's physical DD, so it will get Wisp too. I don't want my Valiant getting Wisp. I don't want my Ogapon getting Wisp. I can go into Glimmora, but it's pretty useful to Mortal Spin later. And my Deoxys is having Lagging Tail now, so it underspeeds everything, and it's pretty frail, so it dies to pretty much anything as well. So I decided to go into Deoxys and sack it. He clicks Wisp here, I think. Yeah, he clicks Wisp. Now he clicks Hex and kills me. I don't really have any switch into Hex either. Just let this die. Now I go into Iron Valiant. As I said, I changed my Valiant from Destiny Bond to Calm Mind. He decides to go into Gloking. I Calm Mind here. Now I decide to Calm Mind again because if I'm at +2, Sludge Bomb won't kill me. He makes a good play to go into Ursaluna. Ursaluna catches a Terra Ghost Shadow Ball or Terra Steel Shadow Ball. So it's a pretty good play to go into Ursaluna raw. And because he's running max HP, I can't really kill this with +2 Moonblast. I do 84%. He kills me back with Headlong. It's at 4% now. So now I think I can basically go into anything and kill this. But then I see that my Glimmora doesn't really have anything it can Mortal Spin versus afterwards. Because Landorus outspeeds, Dragapult outspeeds, Slowking, okay fine. But then it's just gonna click Trick Room and I could be in trouble with Chilly Receptioning next turn. Mola, I can click versus it, but it can flip turn and make the momentum against me. So I just decide to go Glimmora right now. I get a free Mortal Spin. And then I can get a free T-Spike up because he hits me with physical move. I don't kill with Mortal Spin, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter to me. He kills me off. He takes Burn Chip, so the Ursaluna dies. Now I have to think, what Mon do I go into? It's pretty obvious that he'll go into his Dragapult. It's Boots, so it doesn't really care about hazards. And he can Wisp versus Ogerpon. He can Wisp versus Kingambit. He can Draco versus Kyurem. Or he can go into Gloking, baiting my Terra, and then work around from that. So yeah, it's pretty obvious that he's gonna go Dragapult. It's up to me what I want to go into. I decide to go into Kyurem because other two will just get Wisped. This at least has Freeze Dry to kill the Dragapult off. Now I'm running Terra Fire for Wisp, but I decide that I might need Terra for Kingambit because of his own Kingambit, so I save my Terra and I click Freeze Dry here. I get a bit fortunate, he misses the Wisp and the Dragapult dies. Now getting Wisp dodge was pretty lucky, but he dodged the Focus Blast, which would have ended the game like 10 turns ago already. So I will take this. Now he goes into Kyurem. Since I'm loaded dice and physical Dragon Dance, I click Dragon Dance, he Sludge Bombs. I click Icicle Spear because I know Icicle Spear is gonna do a lot. I unfortunately get 4 hits, so he can set up a free Trick Room. I click Icicle Spear again as he clicks Sludge Bomb. Now he can go into his Kingambit and kill my Kyurem off. He does go into his Kingambit, kills my Kyurem off. He reveals Low Kick. Now I have 150 seconds left in my timer and I decide to burn through 120 seconds of those to calculate the perfect endgame. Do I go into Ogerpon here or do I go into Kingambit? Ogerpon lives any one hit from Kingambit and I could reveal that I'm Low Kick here. So he has to worry about that, and for that he has to Terra. In which case, I have to rely on my own Terra Kingambit to win the endgame. But since he has a full HP Landorus, I was a bit iffy about trying to win with Kingambit, and he can also try to Scald Burn me with Mola. So after thinking for a lot of time, I decided to go into my Kingambit. Now obviously as reveal Low Kick, I have to Terra here, otherwise this will be just waste of a Mon and I'll lose my endgame. I am Terra Fire here. He has to Terra as well because he doesn't know that I'm Low Kick or not. If I'm Low Kick, I Terra and he doesn't Terra. His Kingambit dies and he loses to Ogerpon. So both Kingambit are forced to Terra. He Terras, I Terra. I click Kowtow, he clicks Kowtow. Now it's a 50-50. Do I Sucker Punch here or do I Iron Head? He could Sucker Punch here and kill me off. But I think he's just gonna Kowtow because Kowtow is pretty free. And if I SD on the last turn of Trick Room, I can win the Sucker War and then my Ogerpon will win because he would be in Cudgel range. So I'm like pretty sure he doesn't want to risk a SD and then I just sweep with Kingambit or something. He knows that he'll just take like 20% from Sucker Punch and he's still out of Cudgel range. So he will definitely click Kowtow and because of that I click Sucker Punch. I catch him on that. He clicks Kowtow, kills my Kingambit off. Trick Room is out. I go into my Ogerpon. Now at 52, I think I probably have a max roll to kill the Kingambit off or if I crit it. But thankfully, I'm running Play Rough. This was still a 50-50 between Sucker Punch and attacking, but I decided to click Play Rough because I thought he's more likely to click Kowtow, hoping that I'm not Play Rough and he's mainly just calcing Ivy Cudgel, I think. Anyways, I win the 50-50. I get the Play Rough. I kill the Kingambit off. This is huge. Because Alola Mola can't touch the Ogerpon because of Water Absorb and he only has a Landorus. Since my Ogerpon is at full, it lives a U-turn unless he crits. So I can Cudgel. Cudgel is non-contact, so I don't take Rocky Helmet. It decides to click U-turn. He does 57. Now he goes into Mola. Now as I said, I know that Mola can't touch the Ogerpon unless it's running Body Slam or something. And if he's running Body Slam, I live it. So I decide to click Swords Dance here. He decides to go into his Landorus to cycle another Intimidate in. And with that, the game is set because I don't take any chip and my Ogerpon is back at neutral. Ivy Cudgel kill the Landorus off. And with that, I win because Aluminum can't touch this and Power Whip will kill it. The score goes to 5-4 and we ended up winning the season with the final score of 7-5. It was an extremely close final. It went down to the last game in which we won. So with that, we get a custom avatar. As you guys know, I'm a big Infernape fan. My team has Infernape mascot and because of that, I'm finally going to get my Infernape CA. I wanted an Infernape custom avatar for a good while now because I love Infernape and I'll finally get it. Big thanks to my entire team. We were on a complete journey. We started off pretty poorly. We lost the first week. Then we were between like 7th to 8th position into the midweek. And the season was sort of over, I guess. I never really lost belief in the team, but it was looking pretty rough. But we made a phenomenal push. We ended up winning the last 2 weeks of the regular season, which we needed to clutch playoffs. Then we dominated semifinals 7-1 and then we won the finals. With that, I have a 100% manager win rate as well because this was the first time I was managing a team and I won that on the first try. My team gets an Infernape's custom avatar. This was a great experience. Make sure to like, subscribe, whatever. See you guys later.